hasn't it? I literally just said that. Huh? Yeah, I've been away for a while. Let's talk about that for a little bit before moving forward. Yes, hi. It's been a while. I do this thing that I do sometimes, which is where I go to college, and colleges like to do this thing sometimes, where they have final exams, and stuff like that. So yeah, I've been busy. Is the point. You might have seen if you follow me on Twitter or on Itch or whatever. I made a game. I published a game. I'm not particularly proud of that one, to be honest, but it is a thing that I have made. It's not the worst thing that I've made anyway, so I'm pretty okay with that. At least from the game design part of it, it's pretty bad. But in terms of coding, I'm actually kind of proud of how it came out. It works. It does what it's supposed to do. It was for a programming class anyway, so the fact that the design, both visually and in terms of game design, is kind of bad is more or less on purpose. But yeah, I've been away because of that, because of, well, college and everything to do with that. It hasn't been fun, let me tell you. I also wanted to stream yesterday and the day before yesterday, but there were other issues that needed to be taken care of. Chiefly, a termite invasion on a particular plank of my home. Not good at all. But yeah, I'm finally back, and I'm finally going to continue with the development of that game that I wanted to work on, that I haven't been able to work on for a while. The problem is, it's been long enough that the seasons have changed. The impermanence of things is weighing down on the world as it ever does, and the color of the leaves on the trees is changing, and it's summer now, which means that streaming has gotten way more uncomfortable for me, right? Because okay, here's the thing. I'm sure that I've complained about this before. When I'm holed up in my room, like, I have to close the door and close the windows, right? So I don't bother, or so that I bother people outside less. I mean, they can still hear me through the windows, but it's less so, right? So I'm not bothering people with my constant yapping, right? I have to try to close the windows and close the doors and just put layers in between the outside and myself so that I can speak a little bit more freely, right? And that means that the room gets hot and stuffy, and that's fine in winter, right? The air gets a little bit thick, but I can just open the door for 5 minutes and that just sort of solves itself. In summer, it gets really hot and uncomfortable, so I may be taking frequent pauses just to sort of ventilate everything and spread some cold. Sadly, I believe in a country that does not believe in air conditioning. There is air conditioning, but not in my house. We don't have air conditioning. We should, though. We should get some. But we don't have it right now, so that's what I have to deal with. So excuse me if there's pauses on this stream that are way too frequent. I'll try to cut them out for when I upload to YouTube, but I probably won't. Let's be real. Yeah. So I'm gonna try to pick up where I left off on the game, but honestly, I've kind of forgotten by now where I even was. Like, what was I doing? So it might take me a while to get to it. We'll see how that goes. Let's see. Okay. So yep, I gotta use. Yep, it was Godot 4.4. There's been an update since then, so... Okay, this is the project. Okay, how did I set up my scenes again? Give me a second. Oh, okay, I should have set this up beforehand, shouldn't I? Okay, give me a second. I really should get into a little bit making music for the stream. Just make like a quick little background track that I can use, because I can definitely make something simple for that sort of thing. Just something nice about it, so I don't have to rely on music that I don't own. I mean, I don't think Nintendo is coming to get me anytime soon for using the music from Picross, but for Mario Picross on the SNES. But still, it would be nice to not have to rely on that outside sources, wouldn't it? Okay, this is taking a while because I have to set up stuff. I mean, this is the window, but are you going to just recognize it by the title? Because if so, that's not gonna work, is it? Hold on. One second, just 1 second. Yeah, and then I can set up the scene switcher. To this. That. So will that do it? Yeah, okay, that works, Good. Can you read that, by the way? Is that, like... Oh yeah, that is readable, okay. Well, I mean, if it's not, it might be because of bitrate, right? And there's not much I can do at that point, but the data is there. Okay, so yeah, just to remember where we were, what we were trying to do so far was just implement this guy, right? Implement this guy's graphics and animations that I was handed over by a friend, by the artist working on this. So last time we got as far as... Yeah, I think, okay, I'm gonna need to set up something else. Yeah, I'm gonna need another scene that I can, okay. Right. Man, every time I stream and then I forget how to do it. It's a bit frustrating, to be honest, TBH. Then I put a window capture here. This, and then I could capture that window. Like this. Put this at the bottom. Right, and then I do like a... to capture. center here. This at the bottom. A color source. Yes. Make it black, but also make it semi-transparent. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like that, and then put it like in between. And it'll see like this. Then we can. All right. So that would work. Okay. Okay, and then the only thing I need to do is set up the scene collection. Jesus, sorry, this is a lot of technical shit, isn't it? Technical details, just purely because I want to have a stream that looks a bit nicer, right? Let's see, where's the automatic scene switch? I really should have done this beforehand. Okay, so if I do this, it should switch the scene. It's not doing it. Okay. Oh, because I didn't add it. I'm stupid. Yeah. So, like that? Yeah. Yeah, okay, that works. So now the scene switches automatically whenever I press play. It does this nice dimming effect. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this is how it's looking right now, right? Like I managed to affix the graphics to the guy, at least for when he's idle, right? It's just standing there. It's not doing much. And then everything else just kind of doesn't work, does it? I mean, graphics-wise. Yeah, so we have to figure out the rest. We have to figure out how to add the rest of the graphics. But that bit works. I mean, like the guy being idle and just turning around, all that works. I think there was some stuff about how the offhand should probably be its own thing. Right? Because like the hand currently has... The hands has... Does he have both of them actually? Like... Yeah, so see, this is a bit of an issue. Like the hand has both hands, and I feel like it shouldn't, right? I feel like it really shouldn't. But how would I already did all the logic for keeping them together though. Oh, why did I do it like that? Because I have the offhand anchor point, right? So each hand has this. Let's see. Coming to this after like a month of not touching it really makes you forget what you were doing. Right, okay, so remember what I was complaining about before, about the weather, about it being hot? Yeah, like I've only been at this for like, I mean, it says 26 minutes, but a lot of those was just the preamble. I've been at this for like 5 to 10 minutes and I'm already sweating. I hate it. I hate it here. I want to go back to winter. Okay. Let's see. Because the main issue I'm having here is that it's a bit weird for the logic of the both hands to be together, right? Because it also makes it so that the position is dependent. The position of the left hand is depending on the position of the right hand. And I feel like it shouldn't be, right? I feel like I should have... fuck it already works. I'm just gonna leave it like that and start doing the other graphics. Okay, so where's my sample image? Right here. This one, right? So let's open this in a new file. Just okay. So yeah, these are. Let me just sort of show you. Thank you. Did you know that lurkers don't count as views? I found that out the other day. Somebody told me, well, I don't know if it's true, but somebody told me that. This. Yeah, that. Okay. So this is the reference pictures for the guy that we're trying to add, right? So right now we're gonna be, we just did the idle. Let's see if we can do the walk. So let's put this picture, just leave it here for reference, right? We're gonna leave it here in the corner. This is what we're trying to implement, right? So okay. So in the folders we have this walk body. So the body is a different sprite, right? And the hands are the same as the thing, the default. So that makes it easy. So like that means that because the player has a no, he doesn't. What the fuck? No, but he has the movement handler. Okay. Yeah, he has the movement handler, so I don't need to. Okay, so, but how should I handle the animations then? There's like. Should I build a state machine, actually? Do I have a state machine already, anyway? I don't think I do. Yeah, no, I don't. Don't really. You see, the thing is... The thing is, I could make it so that I do use an animation tree, right? To handle all the sprite switching. But then that would mean that I would have to feed that animation tree with the current state of the player. Like an animation state machine, and I'm not sure that that's the best way to go about it, is it? To begin with, let me double check what the possible animation states are. Right? It's these. So an animation state machine, like one that is exclusively for the animations. And I would have to check with the. These are all ground-based, aren't they, huh? So, okay, so... really we have like walk, hold, then a combination like hold, walk, grab and attack, and both of those have a charge like a pre... Flipper kind of counts like a state machine. It's just a state machine with two states. Okay. Oh, wait, how do I... Just thinking. State machine might be the way to go. I don't like that though. Because I'm pretty sure that I already have a state machine for the hands. Do I? Yeah, I do. Hold on, let me just go back, put this guy back here. Okay, so yeah, I do have a state machine for the hands right now. This state machine has idle, grabbing, holding, and throwing. So like if that's the case, then it's gonna be on top of that, isn't it? Isn't there? Oh, hold on, actually, then that accounts for the combinations though, doesn't it? Because then I can have like two state machines running at the same time. One that is for the hands and that decides whether we're walking or holding or grabbing or charging, and then another one for the player that decides whether we're idle or walking, and this one is just walking, normal or holding. So like, yeah, idle on one, idle on the other means that we're idle, but idle on one and walk on the other means that we're here. Hold and normal is this, hold and walking is this. So yeah, it works by combination, right? At least for these four states. These two cannot be triggered while moving, right? They will cease the movement when they happen, so that's fine. Well, actually no, this one... The player should sit still when it grabs. Probably. But that's behavior we have to decide on. Whatever. Yeah, so I'll just make a state machine for the player. God, that took me a while to decide on. Okay, we're gonna add to a state machine for the player. So we're gonna create... So the first thing that I want to do is create, like, rather than creating a whole different state machine for this, I want to make a script that is a generic state machine and then use that to create many different state machines, right? The problem with that is that I can't use enums. I can't use a generic enum for that, right? So I would have to do it by like a dictionary, maybe? Well, let's figure out the specifics later. For now, what we'll do is just close all the tabs. And then we're going to create a new script detached from anything. It's going to be a state machine script. So, state machine. we need to name the class, so class name state machine extends node, a node of type node, right? Right, and then all that this needs to have is a list of state names and a way to decipher which state names can transition to which other state names, right? So alright, and then the functions that will decide whether that is possible or not, right? So how should I handle that? Like, my first instinct is to use strings for the state names so that they can be written in the inspector, right? But that can be a bit complicated because then I have to search for all those strings. So the first thing that I should check actually is there a dictionary functionality for GD script, right? Because if there is, that just makes my job easier. That just means that it's not a problem to use strings because the strings can just be the indexes. I don't have to have like a separate thing to decide that. GD script dictionary. But there is. Okay. Just reading the GD script logs now. Key and value. Try this. What the fuck is export enum? What does that do? White. Yellow. Orange. Bar. Enum. Those are parentheses, those are not. Okay, squiggly brackets. So like this, and then like this. What does that even do? Where? Wait, is that the same as? Just the same thing. So it's just an easier way to do that. Oh, good to know. That's not useful to me right now, but it's good to know that that's how that works. Okay, so then... So, how do I add to a dictionary? Duplicate, duplicate deep, erase, find key, get or add. Get or add. That's a weird function. Gets a value and ensures the key is set. If the key exists in the dictionary, this behaves like get. Otherwise, the default value is inserted into the dictionary and returned. Oh, okay. Get or add, get typed key built in, get typed key class name, get, has all, is empty, is read only, is same, is typed, keys, make read only, merge, set. And you define the key and the value. Okay, so that works. So then we're gonna have it like this, right? We're gonna have a variable that is a dictionary type, right? So, and this is going to be the dictionary of possible transitions. So, possible transitions. And it is an empty dictionary, right? Then we're gonna be able to export a array of the state names. So state names, and this is state. Yeah, and this is a string, an array of strings, right? But it has to be an array, so like that. How do you define an array? I think it's just array of type string. There you go. Okay, so here you can put a bunch of names for the different states that you want your state machine to have, and then you wait. Hold on, I'm thinking. The issue is I want a selector on the inspector that would let you select each of these strings, but only the ones that you previously put in the state names array, which would imply building those into an enum, but that's not something I can just do like that, can I? Okay, hold on, actually, there's no reason any of this needs to be able to be done in the inspector, right? What I want is a generic class that then I can define subclasses for. It doesn't matter if it's from the inspector, I can just do it for you. So I'll have the possible transitions array. This will not even be exported, right? And then all that needs to happen is that for the subclasses, I will fill this array with different state names, right? That are actually the states that I want. So then we need to create the functionality, the generic functionality. So what it should do is you need a function, and we're gonna copy the name so that I don't have to modify the scripts that reference the original one. We need to know what the current state is, don't we? So state equals string. Current state variable that is just a string, which represents the current state that we are on. signal. Yeah, a signal that is... Oh no. The point is that it is useful that this is an enum, isn't it? So then, okay, well then we can just not reference them as strings, we can just reference them as ints, because enums are convertible to ints, so that works, right? We can just reference it by ints, make sure that all of this works for ints, and then just have it so that it communicates with itself by converting the enums to ints every time it calls a parent function, right? So then yeah, so just try, we want a function that is, we want a function that is called try change state, and it receives change to int, right? And then need the is valid state transition. So yeah, is valid state transition old state int new state int, right? And so what this should do is it should check wait a minute, no, this doesn't work at all. Because there are more than one state transitions with the same from in possible transitions, isn't there? So really what I need is a checkup table, don't I? Well, since these are all ints, really what I could do is have an array of bools like an array of arrays of bools. That's not how you write that. How do you write that? there's no way that GD script doesn't allow for 2D matrices. Come on. This doesn't make any sense, because I know that internally the matrix that makes up the transform is a 2D array. What do you mean it can't be done? I've done it before. It has to be possible. Is it? Hold on. What? I've done it before. I know I've done it before. Google, you piece of shit. Okay, that's probably why I'm not finding it. Usually the other search engine is a lot better at finding stuff for me. 2D array GD script. Come on, man. Like, I get that they can't make it typed. I don't know why, but I get that they can't, right? But what? But I know that there are ways to do this. Sorry, what? That's not a thing. Don't lie to me like that's a thing. What are you talking about? Oh, that's the name of a variable. What? Okay, so I guess you have to do it by hand. I don't remember that being the case. I remember there was a syntax. Are you sure that it's not like this? Or like this? Or like this? Or like something? Like matrix? That's what it was. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, you can define the 2D matrix array like this, but that doesn't suit my case because I don't know how many integers they're gonna be because they're just the size of this. So, I'm just gonna make it like this. It's an array. That's as much as you need to know right now, right? And then on start, on ready, we're gonna be like hey, right? Yeah, then on ready, we are going to actually populate the array. So, because this is set by the child class, right? So instead, what we do is we create a for loop, and then for each states. Yeah. The states is going to be set by the child class, right? It's going to take all the enums and it's going to make them into ends and then put them in a list, right? So for each state in states, yeah, for each integer that is state in states, do, and it's for each of these. Ah, fuck, yeah, I forgot how do you do the for each loop in GDScript? For each GDScript. I'm sweating. I mean, I hate the summer. I hate the summer! Oh, it's just a for. Yeah, for state in state. Can I define states to be an end? No, but it's not really necessary. Okay. For each state in the list of states, you take the array, you take the possible transitions, in that state. Wait, hold on, what am I thinking? And we're gonna make this an empty array. Right. It's an empty array, not a dictionary. So like this. So yeah, okay, so the possible transition becomes the possible transition in that state. Actually, let's call it the from state, just for each possible from state. Let's call them possible. For each possible from state in the list of states, you make an empty array, and then within that empty array, for each possible to state in the list of states, you go into the index corresponding to possible to that possible to state, and you make it false, right? So this basically just initializes the array for all the possible combinations of from state to state, including from to itself, and initializes them to be all false, right? from there, the ready function of whichever derived state machine we're working on can change whichever one it thinks should be true for the corresponding ones, right? So that should work. Let's make this a bit easier to understand by just wrapping it all inside of a function. So function initialize transition array, and all of this goes in there. Right? Right. And then try change state just does something really easy. It just takes the current state. Right, let's start with this one. Is valid state transition needs to know whether we're returning true or false from that array that I just initialized, right? So it really just needs to return a boolean. So yeah, return a boolean, and the boolean is whichever one is inside the list. And the list is super easy to access because we just have the numbers here. So all that you do is return possible transitions from old state to new state. And that should be a boolean that it's going to be either true or false. If it's true, then the transition is possible. Then it's not. If it's not, then it's not. So when you try to change state, you should when you do that, then all right, how do I make it so that, because the thing is that the emit is currently giving a hand state type, right? So how do I change this so that it is so that it can give that hand state type and it doesn't just give a generic int, right? Questions. So that they just shoot two signals, one that's a generic signal and one that's specific inside of the thing, and this one can reference that type, because the problem is that if this is going to be a generic state machine, I cannot be defining specific types inside of it, right? That just wouldn't, it would be less generic, right? And that would be just the opposite of the point. Well, let's do the basic shit first, though. Let's just copy this and just erase the parts that don't matter to me and modify the ones that do. So yeah, we have a variable that is the old state, that is the current state. Right? What do you mean target state? Yeah, target state, that's what it should be called actually, that's a better name. Target state, and then the target state here, we have to create, yeah. variable chatty. Cool. Right, and that is just to debug chat, right? No, that's C#. How do you cast in JavaScript? How do you type cast in JavaScript? As, right, that's what it is. And then this doesn't matter because this will just be rewritten. So this one is just going to be numbers, but then that one gets overwritten in all its child classes, right? So then the current state equals the target state. And then we need to create a signal because we want to have a generic signal. I don't signal. State changed int, and it will have a generic other signal that also gets triggered, I assume. So then yeah, just emit the state changed signal. Forget about this, we don't need this. And then otherwise return false. Right? So then this is currently just doing the same thing that this was doing. So then this should work, just a generic state machine, right? And then I can just change this to work with that. So this one, I'll make it extend this state machine. Actually, this should be state machine, right? This extends the state machine. So then this is just, actually save this. Save, right? So then, yeah. Then this doesn't matter. I don't need the chatty anymore because it just does it. I do need to know the current hand state. No, I don't actually. Because I already know it. It's just that it's stored as an int. Whenever I need it, I can just grab that and save it as a hand state, right? This, I think, I'm not sure why I needed it. So I'm just gonna take it out. Oh, fuck. Right? And see what happens. Wait, no, I think I remember why I needed that. Yeah, I think I remember. It's because of some shit with the player hands with this script. With issues that this is being called twice in the same frame, right? So it is changing to hold and then changing again to throwing, and that is all happening in the same frame. But I actually I can make this better though, because I can prevent changes to happen on the same frame, right? So yeah, I can just do it on the generic base class, right? And I can just be like, full variable. And this one should be an export, right? So I can just be like, variable, allow multiple state changes per frame. Long ass name, right? But whatever. It's self-explanatory, which is more important sometimes. And then we can make it so that we need another bool that just tells us whether the state was changed this frame. So variable state changed this frame, right? This is the bool. So then already, I mean, that one's initialized as false because it's just a bool. And then if this is true, then state change this frame equals true, right? And then on update, we need a, not called update, is it? Function process, that's what it's called. On process, we change this back to false. So at the start of the next frame, right? And then if this is true and this is true, then we don't allow any changes to the state. So if we're not allowing the multiple state changes per frame, and there has already been state change this frame, then don't even bother doing anything else and just return a false. Right? Simple. And yeah. And then we can just forget about that here because it doesn't matter. We're not checking if we're to hold, we're just checking every time, right? And we have the signal. This one, it is useful to us because we are letting it exist for multiple states, right? Or rather, for specifically signaling hand states, right, as an enum. So that's useful on its own. Process. Oh, did it call did it invoke yes, I did admit it. Okay. So on process, we don't care about this. We don't want to do this anymore. You try to change the hand state. Right. So this this is a function that receives a hand state enum. I want to transform this hand state enum into the int that the actual function will receive, right? So what I want is try change state target state as int, right? And return whatever the result of that is. And that allows me to make this call with hand states, which are readable, right? But internally it just handles them as ints. Then is valid state transition, we don't need it, but we do need to initialize these, so we need to override this function, the initialize transitions array, right? So yeah, so we need to initialize that. But yeah, when we initialize the transitions array, we want to do some extra stuff on top of what's on the base class, right? So super, just do the normal thing, but then after you do that, I want you to go into the possible transitions, and I want you to make a couple of those, which are right now they're all false. I'm going to make a couple of those true. So just from idle to grabbing, that's true. Every other from idle is false. They're already false by default. Grabbing to throwing is false, but all the others from grabbing are true. So grabbing to idle, grabbing to grabbing, just by itself, we're gonna consider those. Grabbing to holding. Grabbing to throwing is not possible. Yeah, grabbing can, grabbing can go back to idle. It can stay as grabbing, it can just do itself, and it can go to holding, right? Yes. Then the ones from holding to either, no, holding just to throwing, yeah, holding to throwing. So holding to throwing is a possible. All the others from holding are not. And then throwing to idle is possible, but all the others are not. So throwing to idle is possible, but all the others are not, right? And then we don't need the rest. So yeah. So those are all the possible transitions for the state machine. All the others are false, and they have to be indexed as int so that I can use the generic state machine parent one, because obviously the parent is not going to know what enum it's using. It's just indexing everything as ints, right? State to name, these are just states. That's just for debug functionality. Right, I'm scared to try because I basically just rewrote the whole thing, but it should work. It should work exactly the same as it was before, right? Oh no, it errored. Okay. Let's just Okay, who cares about the name of delta, honestly? And then signal hand state is hand state changed is declared but is never used. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. If do this, then I made that current state as and state and then return true, else return false. Yeah. Okay. But that doesn't actually solve, like, what actually was the error, huh? Oh, I got right. Okay, there we go. So then go here. Okay, what's the error then? Invalid access to property or key current hand state on a base object of type node. Number 47. State machine current hand state. But it has it. It has the current hand state. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't because it's now called current state. To make sure to reference it as a thing because this is just an int. So read the int of the current state but interpret it as an enum that it represents the current state of the hands. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that works. And it doesn't want to click as soon as I do that. Let's see. Out of bounds index 0 on base array. Ow! What do you mean out of bounds index? What do you mean out of bounds index 0? That would imply that the array is empty, which it isn't. Oh yeah, I forgot to populate the states table. Yep, that's what it is. Okay, so the player hand state machine needs to, before doing the whole initialization, it needs to populate the for each possible hand state. So and possible hand state in hand state. Wait. Can I just iterate through an enum? Is that a thing I can do? Let me Google that. Can I iterate through an enum in JavaScript? The answer seems to be no. values of the enum as an array, so then you can iterate through those. So hand state point values, and these are going to be ints, right? Yeah, these are going to be ints, so I don't need to convert them to int. And then for each one of those, just but well, if that's the case, then I don't even need to iterate through them. I can just do this. Yeah, like the list of states equals all the values from the hand state, which are already going to be ints. And then it knows how many there are, and you can use those to construct the actual array of possible transitions. So just a 2x2 array with all of those numbers as indexes, and then fill all of those with false booleans, and then fill only these specific ones, which are the possible transitions, with true booleans. And then we have a matrix of all the transitions and whether they're possible or not, right? And it still doesn't work. What the hell happened here? Okay, just do me a favor then. Print me the possible transitions array here. And do it again here, and do it again here. It's not really printing anything, is it? That's odd. Can you do it here and here then? It's also not doing it. How odd. I'll get it. I'll get it. So what? So it's not. Is it just printing an empty thing? No, it's not even printing that. So that means that this just isn't happening. Oh wait, what? Wait, what? It's not printing it. So this part of the code is just not happening. Why not? Why not? What's going on? So state machine, right? You are a state machine that comes from the node. The state machine is a thing that inherits from that, so all of those functions should be the same. It should at least be printing these, because this is happening already. But it's not happening already. Why is it not happening already? Did I just completely forget the name of the it's called _ready, isn't it? Yep, that's what it is. Well, now it's breaking for a different reason, but at least we know. At least it's running now. Trying to assign an array of type array to a variable of type array integer. What do you mean? An array of type array is just an unindexed array. Is it not an array of integers? What else would it be if not? The values of an enum should be just a bunch of integers, right? Yeah, it's just a bunch of integers. Is it not typed as an integer? And that matters for some reason. Even though it always is going to be only integers, because that's how the engine defines an enum. Can I... No way this will work, but... No, it doesn't. Trying to assign an array of type array to a variable of type array int. So should I can I just make the array generic then? Make it not an array int, it's just an array, even though we know that it's going to hold only ints. Okay. So that's some progress, at least. Right, so you've printed this. So 0, 1, 2, and 3, which is 0, 1, 2, and 3. That's the hand state array. Then you assign it to the state, so the state now is an array with 0, 1, 2, and 3, right? A list of 0, 1, 2, and 3. You go to super, so that means that you start running this. And then you initialize the transitions array. Then you go for each possible for each possible from state in the list of states, which is just the number 0, 1, 2, and 3, right? So for each of those, so for the number 0, 1, 2, and 3, you go to possible transitions and you What do you mean? Why can't I index it with an array? I can fill an array with arrays, why shouldn't I be able to? It's an array of whatever the fuck I want. It's non-typed. I could fill it with like booleans, like if I make this like, right? Like that's still gonna error somewhere else, like further down the road when I try to index that index, but what do you mean I can't fill it with a boolean? What can I even fill it with then? This is an array. It can hold multiple values, right? I just haven't told it what values I want to. Into that? I don't get it. What can I fill it with then? Because it's an untyped array. I would have thought that means that it's a generic array that I can fill with whatever. But if you say that I can't fill it with arrays, and apparently I can fill it with booleans, can I fill it with integers? Can I fill it with like a 3? No. So can I fill it with anything? What's the point of an untyped array if it can't be filled with literally anything? What if I pre-fill it? Full. No, full. False. 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 What? So now you let me change one of those falses to a 3 because it's filled with something. me a second. I'm gonna be right back. All right, I'm back. Okay. I'm really having trouble with this. I don't understand what is even going on. So here's the thing that I think might actually make this discernible, right? Print me the numbers. Print me the what index we're currently trying to fail. Because I don't know if it's the first one that it's failing or it's the second or like when, right? Yeah, so then the output, no, it's at the first one every time, right? So it's at the one that I have already assigned as false, and it doesn't seem to like putting it as false. Can you print me the value of this, which, as I understand, should be false? Invalid access? Oh, because I changed it to a... yeah, okay. What number? Right, so you correctly... hold on. Okay. Right, so yeah, 0, 0 you assign to false, 0, 1. So because 0, 1 doesn't exist. Okay, so we just need to initialize it, right? Then that's the issue. So we can just do that. Like here, we can just define it as an empty array. And then here we can be like, hey, before you begin initializing, take the possible transitions. Possible transitions is an array, but it's an array of size. And the size of this array is... wait. Yeah, how do I declare an array actually? GD script declaring an array. I just forget the syntax. How do I declare with the size? Wait, what an idiot. Yeah, I don't need to do that. I can append. Ah, what an... okay. Okay, how does append work then? Another array at the end of the array. Yeah, no, that's not what I want. Okay, how do I add a value at a specific... no, it doesn't matter because it's just append. So just append an empty array, right? Possible transitions, append a value, right? variable transitions append a value, right, which is just an empty array, and then within that empty array, append a value, which is false. Right, because you can't, right, so that's, fuck. Yeah, I just forgot, right? You can't modify the size of an array by just declaring a variable outside of its size. That'll error. What you can do is append a variable which will change the size. Oh god, that was took me way too long. Okay, but that works, right? Kinda. So what errored this time? To begin with, let me just remove those bunch of prints. This and this. Yep, now those seem to work out, the prints. Okay, so what errored this time? State machine current hand state. Ooh, you know what I can do? I can establish this as a getter function, so... How do I do getters? I always forget how to write getters in GDScript. Yeah, so I can do... So I just do get return current state as and state. Right, so this is not a real variable that is being stored, it's just a variable that is a translation of the other variable that is just an int, right? Hey, that works. Okay. So all of that bullshit was really just to implement something that I had already done, right? But the reason I did all that is because it implemented in a generic way, because it means that now I can make a state machine for other things, right? So I can really easily make another state machine that is just that is for the player, and I don't have to rewrite any of this stuff, right? I can just do it, define which states transitions are allowed, and then just create these if I need them. I do want to test one thing though. If I make the state machine chatty, yeah, it works. Okay, I just needed to know if the states would be correctly named. So if the parent function if the function in the parent was correctly calling the state to name of the child rather than the one of the parent class itself. Oh, God, what a pain in the ass that was. So, why did we want to do that? We did that because we want the player to have its own state machine, right? For the purposes of animation and such. Or at least something that seems like a state machine. Yeah, no, because I'm thinking the way that I know whether I'm walking or not is not gonna be it's not gonna be by a state machine, because I don't need to give it permission or take it away in order to do that, because the movement already knows how to do that. It's not like in different states, it just sort of knows, right? According to certain conditions. A state machine is still a useful thing, don't get me wrong. Yeah, an animation state determiner that references the movement handler. Yeah. Let's make it as the child node of the animation player, because like that just makes sense, right? So this guy needs to know. Wait, okay, so hold on. To know whether the player is walking or braking or jumping or whatever, right? In order to do that, it needs to know what the movement handler is currently trying to do, right? So should it have a reference to the movement handler? Or should it receive signals from the movement handler? I think it's better if it receives signals, right? receives signals, it can't just query anytime, can it? So it should just have all the awareness that it needs. It should just know who the movement handler is and then check different variables within it. Yeah, I mean, thinking. Give me a second. Oh my god, why am I hit with decision paralysis so hard when it's the simplest thing ever? Like, it just needs to be aware of it and then check different statistics and then know what to say depending on those, right? So the problem is that I don't want its functionality to be too dependent on the movement handler, right? Because if it is, then that means trouble later when I want to change the movement handler because I want the player to walk slower or whatever, right? This is something that coding nerds call I forget what they call it. You know what? It doesn't matter. It's a pretentious name anyways. Right? And if I frustrating. Because this guy not only needs to know that the state of the movement handler, it also needs to know the state of the hands, right? And that feels like too much if it's checking both. So should the movement handler have a state machine? No. No, there should be a state machine. Huh. Yeah, there should be a movement state machine, right? Hold on. Does this even make sense? Handles it fine, right? So I don't want to add a bunch of extra code that tells it when it can do transitions when it doesn't need it. It already does that. So I need to take its inputs, like, right, its velocities and its the inputs of the player and the velocities. But I don't want to have an extraneous thing that is taking the inputs of the players when it's not handling movement, right? So it would have to be signals then. Signals from the movement handler that are like, hey, by the way, I just begun doing this. Hey, I just begun doing that, right? And it's just constantly throwing these signals all the time, right? Yeah, I would need all those signals. So signal began descent, right? Signal began walk, signal, right? Because if it's walking, then it's just sort of moving, right? Even when it's braking, it's still walking, unless it's actually braking, right? Began braking, and then from braking it can begin walking just willy-nilly. Yeah, so that's what it does. Like, it begins running, it begins braking. Yeah. Signal began idle, right? It begins walking, it begins braking, it begins being idle and staying idle, right? Being idle and staying idle. And then yeah, and then what, right? It begins jumping, it begins descending. And then the others don't matter, because all that I have for the others is just the attack, the attack charge, the grab and the grab charge. And both of those are, all of those are just, they're just depending on the hands, not on the whatevers, right? Yeah, okay, so now we have to emit this signal. So mid-player jump is already being emitted. Begin descent is easy. All I need to do is check, 1, are we mid-air? And 2, did our velocity just change from larger than 0 to smaller than 0? I think. Or the other way around, I forget. Which one is positive? Yeah, positive is up. So from larger than 0 to smaller than 0, right? So, movement handler. Physics process, update jump buffer, if stunned, whatever. Update jump buffer, calculate horizontal velocity, calculate horizontal accel, calculate vertical velocity. This is what I want, right? So, if body to move is on floor, I don't care. But if it's not on floor, then do I have a variable that is the previous vertical velocity? Yes, okay, so let's see on the whoever calls this function. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have it called. Yeah. New variable, new current, new vertical speed is going to be equal to this. Then if current vertical speed is larger, if the current vertical speed is larger or equal to 0, so we were ascending or just sitting still, and the new vertical speed is smaller than 0, so we've begun descending, then that means that we began the descent and you should emit that signal, right? And then, only then, make sure that the current vertical speed is the new vertical speed. Current vertical speed equals new vertical speed. And then you just do the thing that you were doing. Right? So that's easy. That's just whether we began the descent. No. because this only should happen if you're midair, right? Begin the midair descent. How do I know that I began walk? I began walk if 1, I'm on the floor, 2, my movement speed was 0, but it is now not, right? So actually, this shouldn't be here. Yeah, this should just be like that. This should be inside of the calculation. When you calculate the vertical velocity, it should be then. So when you're not on the floor, that way we have ourselves an extra check as well, an extra code to that function. Yeah. Let's just create another variable that is like new speed equals all that, right? And then return the new speed. But before you do that, we use the new speed and the old speed. Jesus, why is the keyboard not reacting all of a sudden? We use the new speed and the old speed to determine that. So if the old speed, which is the current vertical speed, is larger or equal to 0, and the new speed is smaller than 0, then that means that we have begun descent. So began midair descent emit, and then we're gonna make sure that it's called that, right? So began midair descent. Okay, easy. So began walk should be the same, but it's when our velocity was at 0 and it became something more than 0, but only as a result of an input, right? If it became more than 0 as a result of something else, then we're not walking, we're just being dragged, right? So horizontal velocity here the same logic, right? New speed equals current horizontal speed equals all this, and then return the new speed. This is the variable, but we want to first check if the current horizontal speed was 0 and and the new speed equals or rather is not zero actually, because it doesn't matter which direction it's going, then began walk. Now the thing that I'm considering is that maybe we were mid-air, right? Maybe we were mid-air and we just landed and we are walking, but our speed has not gone from 0 to something, it went from something to something, right? Because we were moving while in midair. And that would make it so that the walk signal isn't emitted, but you should transition to walking. And what I'm thinking is that the way that we should handle that is that we don't, and that the animation guy just holds on to the idea that you're walking, right? And then when you reach the ground, it checks, okay, so are we walking or are we idle? And if we're idle, then it goes to idle. If we're walking, it goes to walking. It remembers that we were walking because you were moving from before, right? So in this case, it doesn't matter if we're midair, right? Because it just, hold on. No, it doesn't matter because it'll just ignore it when it's midair. So it says walk, but it's not actually walk. It began movement, right? The other one does matter, whether it's in midair or not. But this one doesn't. Okay, so then we have the began walk. We have to begin braking. We have to consider began braking. And this should be it. But this one's easier actually because it's it is this. It is whether we want this, right? So yeah. The problem is that walk and brake are mutually exclusive, right? So if I'm going to allow for braking, then I have to allow for going back to walking after braking a little bit. How would I determine that? Here's where we determine that, right? So if this happens, then we're walking. If this happens, then we're braking. No, actually, if this happens, then we're walking. If these two, this one or this one happens, then we're walking. If this happens, then we're braking, right? But I need a way to, because the signals are just when it begins being the case. I cannot just emit it every single time this happens, right? So I have to emit it only when this happens after it was not, right? Well, I could make this easier. I could just do like a variable that is right. And then here braking is true, and then here braking is false. And then here braking is false. So then if not braking, began braking. And then the opposite for this one. So if it was braking, If it was braking, then began walking. And here. This is a bit of a bodge, honestly, but it's not a huge problem. And began idle. This one's easy because it's just it's idle in terms of walk, right? So this one's easy because it's just whether our current velocity is 0. So current horizontal velocity is 0, and we're not midair. Oh, actually, yeah, if we're midair, then we're not really idle, are we? No, actually, because this is just idle horizontal, right? So yeah. You can just clarify. So vertical movement signals, and then horizontal movement signals, right? So if it says idle, it just means that we're idle like on the horizontal layer, but on vertical we could still be jumping, right? And then just check it like here. If new speed equals 0 and current horizontal speed was not 0, then began right. So this establishes a bunch of signals that the movement handler can just send now, right? All of these, and these basically describe what the player is doing at any given time. And so I can have another object that is receiving those signals along with the signals from the hands for when it changes state, and using those to determine, okay, what animation should I be doing now? Because if we're midair and we're doing a thing, but if we're on the ground and we're doing a thing, then it should be different animations, right? That way the movement handler doesn't have to be concerned with what the hands are doing, and the hands don't have to be concerned with what the body is doing, but we have a guy that is constantly checking both of them and knows which animation to pick based on, right? So that's nice. Give me a second, because I'm gonna be right back again. Because the heat is starting to get to me. Fucking hate summer. I fucking hate summer. Honestly, hot summer and no AC is literal hell. Nobody has ever had it as bad as I do right now. Just awful, awful, awful season. I want to go back to winter, please. It's not even summer. It's not even actually summer. It's spring. Right. What was I doing? Yes. Okay. So the thing that I need to do after this, right? After now I have the signals that will determine the movement state of the player. I need an object here, just an empty node, and this will be the animation state determiner, right? And so what this guy is going to do is it's going to receive signals from all the other, from the hands and from the movement handler, and it's going to use those to determine what animation state the player should be in. And it's going to have a bunch of them that are going to be defined. This is not a state machine because transitions. Wait, actually, is it not a state machine? No, it's not a state machine because it always depends on what type it always depends on what state the others are in, not on the current state of itself, right? If the transitions are limited, it is because those types are limited, not because this is. So we're gonna have to create a new script, right? And this is for the player. And this is the player animation state determiner. we add it here. So the animation state determiner, what does it do? Well, it determines what current animation state we are on. So the way that it does this is using those signals that I just finished coding, right? It's going to create one of these. So it's going to need one for each of these. So let me just make this bigger so that I can see it better. Right. So here. So first we're going to need an enum that is called animation state. And it's going to have several types, and they're going to be idle, walk, hold, hold on, actually, yeah, hold on, what the hell? God, no, that's not how it should work. Yeah, because okay, so the issue is that the hands follow a certain logic, and the body follows a certain logic. So these are separated logics, right? The walk animation is the same whether it's holding it or not, and same for the hands. They're the same whether it's walking or not. They both have to coordinate when the grab charge and the grab and the attack charge and the attack happens. No, you know what? It's easier if I address them as combinations regardless. Because the hands are not going to have 20 different states, right, are they? And most states are combinations anyway. So, okay, we're going to create them. So we're going to have idle state. Oh, hold on. The keyboard is slipping. So yeah, we're going to have idle state, walk state, hold walk, grab, yeah, and in this case it's just grab, because the grab charge is just the wind up to the charge. It's part of the charge animation. Hello, hi, I'm coming out from behind the image. So yeah, just the grab. And same for the attack, just an attack. We also need two more that are for the airborne. So we need no, hold on. This doesn't work that way. State and a body state, and they should be coordinated when they should, but not when they shouldn't. Yeah, that's the better way to do it. Enum and state, and the hand state can be idle, hold, boss, grab, attack, right? And then we have another enum that is the body state. body state, and this one is, and let's actually be a bit more explicit about it and call it the hand and body animation state. So just in case I ever have something that's called a hand, like I'm pretty sure I already had a hand state actually. And then the body state can be idle, walk, break, idle, walk, break, grab. Yeah, those are the same. So grab, attack, toss. I mean, I'll have to consult this with the artist, but I think that toss could be handled with just the hands, right? And maybe should. Grab, idle, walk, break, grab, attack. It also needs ascent and descent for the jumps, right? So of those, grab and attack need to be coordinated between the hand and the between the hand and the body. Right, and so the idea now is, let me just put this back to where it was. So the idea now is, shit, man. This guy is just kind of listening to all of those guys, to the hand and the body, in order to know which animation state to be in, right? So we listen to the body, right? So we have to hook up all of those signals. So hold on, what? Who does the signals? It's the state machine, isn't it? So logically speaking, the hand would need their own animation state determiner, wouldn't they? No, hold on. Wait, hold on. How do the hands... How does the player do the power again? Fuck, I completely forgot about that. How does that happen? Because whatever way that happens is going to influence how I do this. Oh, it's definitely not here. Not the flipper. Why would it be the flipper? how does that? Oh shit! I completely forgot how this code works. Give me the grabbables. How does the grabbable work? Yeah. Show me this, right? Like this. Right, these guys work by accessing the player, right? So the player is handed to them when they are attached. So the grabbable, when it is grabbed, it receives the player, and so when it receives the player, then this thing knows what to do. And so this sort of modifies, this sort of does an extra thing on the player, right? So, right, because here's what I'm thinking. Doesn't that kind of mean that? Right, because the whole gimmick is that having a bunch of extra abilities, right? So doesn't that mean that when I acquire an ability, and that ability has like an animation that goes along with it, that ability shouldn't be stored in the player just from the get-go. It should be stored in the thing that grants the ability, right? Just because that's more scalable. Then you can have multiple abilities with more and more abilities that give more and more animations without having to modify the player each time, right? Each ability is only each animation is only concerned with where it comes from. But then that means that has to be able to act upon this. So this animation player has to be able to give control to one of those abilities, right? Is that something that even works? It would have to replace the animation player for just that couple seconds. No, it doesn't have to, because what I can do is just feed the animation player a baked animation that is stored as an asset, right? So then I can make the animation in the animator here, but then not store it here, just store it somewhere else, and that'll be just an animation clip, and that can be fed to the animation player and just have it ignore all this, right? So in other words, I'm fine. In other words, I don't need to worry about that. Oh my god, okay, just a lot of just being hesitant on how I'm implementing this. The problem is that this is like genuinely quite a complicated system that I'm trying to implement here, so I'm having to just second guess myself every step of the way, because if I mess up, I don't want that to mean hours of extra work on myself, right? Right, so these are the states for the hand, these are the states for the body. The problem is that I can't access those signals from the hand, from here, because those are originated here. So what I would need to do is either propagate those signals through the player hands component, which feels so odd, or give the hands their own animation player, right? The problem with that is that if that is the case, then I have to have each animation that is coordinated, I have to have it duplicated between the player and the hands, and I don't think I really want to do that, right? I don't want to have two different animations that I have to coordinate. I want to have one animation, and I mean, does that mean that I should just like put this as editable children here, and then just edit those children's in animation here? Is that the best way to do it? And then turn off editable children? I don't want to turn on editable children if I can help it, though. Just because the code is more orderly that way. So is there a way that I could do that? Is there a way that I could cause this animation player to work both on the player and on the little parameters of the hand, chiefly the things that it needs to work on at this and this. But the only thing that I can think of is that this guy has a way to a parameter that it changes, that does that, right? So change that parameter, and then this guy is in charge of communicating that to these. Because the position doesn't matter, because the position I can just move these anchor points. The whole point of those anchor points is to be a point that exists outside of the position, right? So that's fine. Oh shit. I think I'm gonna have to do that. Yeah. Yeah, just do it like... Right, and then just set. And then this one the same, so... Right, and that makes it so that this guy has two variables that are constantly, like, whenever they are changed, it changes the sprite on these two, so that allows me to control it from the outside. And then I can just change this script so that it does that in the inspector, so that I can see the changes immediately without having to go into play mode, right? So... should be its own object. It really should, but I put so much effort into making sure that it worked as a part of the main hand that now I have to untangle all that if I wanted to do that. I don't think it's a simple enough thing that I don't think it's a problem if I leave it like this, but mark my words, if this ends up becoming a huge issue that takes me 3 hours of refactoring, I am going to become the Unabomber. Unabomber, I said it so weird. Una bomber? What was it called? You know, that guy that was sending the pipe bombs in people's mails. I'm gonna start doing that. Stupid. Okay, yeah, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Right, so I need to make sure that this changes those. So the same but offhand. So now what I should have is, so I can go here and be like, right, what happened to the offhand then? But it does have the texture, so what's going on with you? Sprite texture, offhand sprite the texture, offhand sprite texture. And that should work. Why did the hand disappear? Can you show me? Show me. Editable children, offhand. What's the texture? Is that? Did you forget what the offhand? Did you forget what the offhand position was? What the anchor was? This is the anchor point, your offhand should be just there. Oh, you're erroring, that's what's going on. Yep. Main hand, wait, what do you mean main hand spread? What? Main hand sprite. Yeah, it's an area 3D. No, it's not an area 3D, it's a sprite 3D. Main hand texture. Oh, well, I mean, that would be better, right? Right, and then I can just actually fill them now. There you go. Okay, so now I can edit these. Right, I can edit these values here and that'll edit the hands, and I don't have to go inside a fiddle with those values. Oh boy, okay. So next will be the animation state determiner. Yeah. Okay, here's what I'll do. I think I'm done with this. I think I'm done with this today, honestly. Like, did you see me? I was struggling. I was struggling right at the end. I was really struggling. So, no, I think I'm done today. I will be right back, and I'll do something else. I'll just have other games to play. So yeah, I'll be doing that. I'm gonna be right back. See you in a bit.